If this is the first video of our Morocco series that you're watching, then please stop, go back and watch some of the others, because what is about to happen in this video isn't representative of our time in Morocco. We'd been here nearly 3 months at this point, had travelled up and down the country in our camper van and had nothing but positive experiences. So whilst this was a pretty horrific incident, it was just one small part of an incredible journey through a beautiful and welcoming country. And in the same way that we don't want this freak accident to shape our memories of Morocco, we also don't want it to provide you with a false negative impression. And just a heads up, this video was pretty hard to make, so apologies up front if it's not the easiest watch.
Hey, so we are currently in Fes, and this is definitely not the type of video that we were planning on making here, because right now we are in a hospital car park. Yesterday, Ady got attacked by a cat as we were leaving a restaurant. Ady and I were literally just walking down the steps. She was holding my hand, and Jay was just coming out after paying, and she turned to go back up the steps towards him, and this cat just came out of nowhere and just grabbed her on the head and was biting and scratching her. So we came to the hospital, and thankfully the scratches and the bites are quite superficial. The doctors say that they'll heal absolutely fine, and they treated them with antiseptic with iodine. So that part of it should be okay. Luckily the scratches, they're mainly on her scalp. She's got a couple down the side of her face here, but thankfully they aren't near her eyes. And the doctors have recommended that she gets a rabies vaccine. They said it's very unusual for cats in Morocco to behave in that way, so that's why they're a little bit more concerned about it. The cat was actually, I don't know if it belonged to the restaurant, but it was certainly in the restaurant that we were eating. We think it's very unlikely that it does have rabies. I think it was more that it had some kittens, and even though we were actually nowhere near it, I don't know whether it kind of saw Ady coming up the step and she made a noise and it saw as some kind of threat, and that's why it attacked, because it literally just came out of nowhere. Jay grabbed it and pulled it off her, so he's got some scratches on his hand too. So the doctors have advised that he gets a rabies vaccine as well. So we spent the night at the hospital last night because we went to 3 different places around the city yesterday, trying to find the vaccine. The hospital wrote us a prescription, but we couldn't find anywhere that had the vaccine. They gave us different addresses, and we went off with taxi drivers to try and find them around the city, but they were all closed. It's a weekend, so I think that's impacting that as well. So we ended up back at the hospital, and the doctors spoke to some other doctors, and we're apparently getting a vaccine couriered here yesterday evening. That didn't happen, so Jay's just gone in to find out what is happening now, because we just slept here in the car park last night, kind of expecting a knock on the van at any point saying that the vaccines were here. If you know anything about rabies vaccines, you know that you have like a limited time to get them done so that they're at their most effective. I think it's 72 hours. So yeah, this happened at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It's now 8 o'clock the next morning. So yeah, we'll keep you updated. Okay, so what did they say?
So they called the doctor that we were speaking to yesterday, and he apologised for the vaccine not turning up yesterday. I don't know what happened. They didn't explain that, but they said that we need to go back to the last place that we went, the last hospital, to get the rabies vaccine this morning. I explained to them obviously that we'd been through this all yesterday and that the place was shut, and they said that it should be open now. So I just asked if they could call. They called and they said that it's definitely open,
right,
so we can go down there, hopefully get that vaccine, and then we need to go to the pharmacy to get the tetanus jab afterwards.
Right, okay, yeah, because you need to get those as well.
Yeah.
Okay, just to update you then, we have got the first set of rabies shots that Ady and Jay needed to get. We now need to find somewhere to get them tetanus jabs because they couldn't do that at the same place. Apparently we can just buy them in a pharmacy, and then we need to just get someone to administer them, so either coming back to this place or going back to the hospital, the big hospital where we were. And just in terms of the rabies vaccines, they told us that well, Ady and Jay both had one in each arm, so they had 2 today, and then they told us that we need to get some more in a week's time, and then some more within 50 days. So the next ones we'll still have to get here in Morocco, but then the others we'll be able to get back in the UK. Okay, so we are really struggling to find a pharmacy open that has this tetanus vaccine. It's 4 o'clock now, it's Sunday, and it just feels like this isn't going to happen today. We don't know exactly, but because we've been told that it's better to get it done as soon as possible, obviously, but we think the window that's best to get it done in is within 48 hours, so that would still obviously give us until 4 p.m. on Monday, in which case all the pharmacies open Monday morning and we should be able to find one quite easily, but we'd just still rather get it done today. We've spoken to a couple of private hospitals that are open 24 hours, but they've not got the injection, and they're just basically saying come in and see a doctor and we'll see what we can do, but it just feels like a massive waste of time because they're already saying that they don't have the tetanus vaccine, and haven't been able to tell us over the phone where we can get one. So we're just waiting to hear back from our travel medical insurance people. They are speaking to some local providers and seeing if they can find somewhere for us that we can get to today. The travel insurance came through, and they'd arranged an appointment for tomorrow morning somewhere, so we were like, okay, that's fine, it's still within the 48 hours, and we were just actually on our way out to a park just to get some fresh air and just kind of try and just chill out as a family, and we'd just left the van and we got another email from the travel insurance saying actually change of plan, you need to go to this location now, actually right away, and get the vaccines, because they're very limited supply in this part of Morocco, and you just need to go now and get one. It's only like a 12-minute drive away, so we're on our way now. Really rubbish because obviously we just got our stuff together, and I'd promised Ady that we were going to go to the park and play some football, and just to like change a plan so quickly like that for a little one is quite a lot to deal with, but she's doing absolutely amazing, and hopefully we're going to go there now and get these tetanus jabs and everything is going to be sorted. Oh, this is absolute drama. So we just got to the place, the address that they sent us to, and the pharmacy that they said, the pharmacy name doesn't exist. It's just literally not there at that address, that location. There is another pharmacy there that is a different name, but it's closed. It's all locked up, like chains on the doors, padlocked, etc. So yeah, we're just gonna have to try and find somewhere now to pull up and call the travel insurance company back, because we don't know where they're trying to send us.
Our insurance company has contacted you about a vaccination for tetanus.
I don't understand.
Okay. Can you tell me the address, the street name for the address?
I don't understand, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
This is just getting worse and worse.
Yeah. It's a bit of a disaster.
Okay, it's about 7:15 and we have got the vaccine, the tetanus vaccine. I have no idea how we managed to find that pharmacy in the end, because we just kept Googling stuff and just driving around basically, and we found it in the end. Thing is, they only had one vaccine, so obviously we're going to take that for Ady. We are they don't administer the vaccines though at the pharmacies, So now we have to go and find a clinic or a hospital to actually inject her with the vaccine. We are not sure the place that we got the rabies jab done this morning is going to be open at this time on a Sunday night, so we're just going to head straight back to the big hospital that we went to because we know that's going to be open, and someone is going to be there. Basically, the people in the pharmacy were absolutely lovely, and what the lady was saying to us was if she's had all of her normal childhood vaccines in the UK, this was over Google Translate that we were talking about this. But what she said is that if Ady has had all of her childhood vaccines, then she's had tetanus already and she doesn't need it again. Obviously, these are health professionals. It's not just like some random person telling you this. They do know what they're talking about. She was saying it's more of a worry for Jay because he will have had his last tetanus vaccine further back. But obviously our primary concern is Ady, and so we are going to give her the vaccine that there is, and the lady has said that she is going to do her best to find another one tomorrow. She's going to call around all the pharmacies and try and get another one delivered. She's asked us to go back at midday tomorrow, and hopefully she's going to have one for Jay. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. We think Jay actually might have had one recently, about maybe 2-3 years ago, or even as little as a year ago, because he did have some injections in the UK to top someone's up. But we can't access our doctor's records online in the UK, and obviously we can't call them on a Sunday night to ask them when Jay last had a tetanus vaccine either. So yeah, maybe we'll try and call them tomorrow morning as well, your doctors, yeah?
We should try and call them. And can I just say as well, one of the reasons why we can't remember is because this is really quite stressful, and I think ordinarily if you'd asked us, did you have this vaccine recently, then I could probably tell you, but these things just go completely out of your mind and we don't have paper records of it that we keep either. So yeah, we should call them tomorrow, find out whether I've had it recently. I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as we get one tomorrow, and hopefully that will be it all sorted.
Yeah, hopefully. I should also add that when they were saying in the pharmacy that Ady didn't need it, we spoke to the doctor, the paediatric doctor that we saw at the hospital yesterday, as well. Like literally while we were there, we were texting him, and he was like, no, I spoke to my professors and the immunology department, etc, etc, and he was like, to be on the safe side, she needs to have it. So we're going to go with that over the people at the pharmacy, although I'm sure it's probably fine, and actually probably no one's got rabies or tetanus, but we just want to get these jabs now. We managed to get Ady her tetanus shot last night then. There wasn't a queue at the hospital, we just went straight in and got that done. It was quite late, it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, so Ady fell asleep on the way back in the car then. But that's all done, so that's a relief. It actually hasn't even really cost us anything either so far. I mean, it doesn't matter anyway because we've got travel medical insurance for exactly these kind of things. But they didn't charge anything at the hospital for the initial treatment that we had, or to administer the injection yesterday. The rabies jabs were free, or the only thing that we had to pay for was the tetanus shot that we got from the pharmacy, and I think that was £39. So that's like, I don't know, like £3, like basically nothing. So that's just all amazing, like just incredible that we've been able to access that kind of care here in Morocco. Jay is currently on the phone on hold to our doctor's surgery in the UK because it is 9 o'clock Monday morning now. I think it's probably just worth pointing out here now that you've now been on hold to the doctor's surgery. This is just to speak to the receptionist as well for way longer than it took us to see a doctor in Morocco.
Yes, absolutely. I've waited for this longer than we've waited for anything combined, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So far.
It's quite incredible, really. Joe, what just happened? I didn't manage to catch that.
We've been on hold for over 40 minutes, and they picked up the phone and basically said, "I can't hear you, I'm putting the phone down," and that was that. Put the phone down. So that is a level of service that we get.
Okay, we didn't get through to the doctors in the UK. Just been out to the park to have a little kickabout just to get some air, so we weren't just stuck in the van all day again. And we're about to head back to the pharmacy that we went to yesterday. They told us to go back at about midday to see if they had been able to find a vaccine from another pharmacy or somewhere. We did say to them, "Can we call you?" And she was like, "No, because I don't speak English, so we need to go so that we can be there to be able to use the Google Translate and understand each other." So yeah, we are just heading there now. Right, Jay's just gone into the pharmacy to see if they have the tetanus vaccine. Fingers crossed, everyone, that they have found one. Hopefully he's going to be able to have one today as well, which will be within 48 hours of the incident happening. But if we can't find one, and we can speak to the doctors in the UK and know that he had one last year, I think that's going to be fine. We can call the doctor and double check that with him as well. The other thing is, if they don't have one at this pharmacy, we have been told that the best place to try and get one is potentially going to be a veterinary medical supply centre. So we've got the address for there as well. So if this fails at the pharmacy now, we will also try at the vets. Any luck?
No, I didn't have it. So the medical insurance have just been back on. I've just obviously told them that they didn't have it there and asked if they can advise somewhere else that does have it. Okay. So we are back to square one. We think we have found the veterinary medical place, by the way. We drove past it, but we just can't find anywhere to park. So now we're stuck in traffic. We're trying to go back round to it to see if there's somewhere nearby that we can park to get in there. Because it's the prescription that we have is in Jay's name. He needs to go in and speak to them. What we normally do in these situations where we can't park is I jump out and do whatever we need to do, and Jay just literally drives around. But I don't feel comfortable driving the van in this kind of traffic. So yeah, we really need to find somewhere to park. So go on, just explain what happened with our doctors. Basically they said that I have had a tetanus within the last 10 years, but they weren't able to give any more information as to exactly when it was, for I don't know what reason. It doesn't make any sense, does it? If you can give that information, then surely you can just give a date. But I mean, I suppose that's a positive. I've had it in the past 10 years. We know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So now we're just going to carry on trying to source one here in Fes.
Okay, so what's happened now?
Okay, so we are at the Ministry of Agriculture, which is next to the Ministry of Veterinarians. And I went to the Ministry of Agriculture first because it was the first one on the road that I came across. And I went in and I asked for the person whose name I'd been given, and they didn't know who she was, basically. So I showed them the message, and eventually they were like, and I'd just been pronouncing it completely wrong. So they said next door in the veterinary place is where you need to go. So they took me there, and they said it's a bloke called Monsieur Rashid. So I went in there. He said that the lady that I was asking for wasn't actually at work, so he would help me with my query. Anyway, long story short, basically he said this is a veterinary place, so we deal with animals, not humans. So we don't have the vaccine here. He said this is where you need to go. He brought it up on Google Maps, and it's the place that we went to get the rabies vaccine yesterday.
No.
Yeah. So he said, yeah, what you need to do is go to a pharmacy, buy the tetanus, and then go there to get it injected.
You were like, that's what we're trying to do.
I know. I said, yeah, there's no pharmacies that have it. So we're back to square one. However, we've just had another email from the medical insurance, and they have said they've given the name of another pharmacy,
right,
which they said does have it. However, it is it shuts at 1:30, I think, and it is now about 1:20.
Oh my gosh.
And it's about 7 minutes away.
Okay, let's go.
So we need to get a shift on.
Well, we found the pharmacy, but it's shut.
Yeah, so I don't even know what to do now. It's not going to be open for another 2.5 hours.
That takes you over your 48 hours anyway. It's now 4 o'clock, we're back at the pharmacy. The last pharmacy that was suggested to us, the one that was closed, to see if they do in fact have the vaccine there, as the travel insurance company suggested. So fingers crossed, Jay's just nipped in now. Come on then, give us the good news.
Well, they had the vaccine at this pharmacy, so I've got the vaccine. I've got myself a needle. Just need to go and find someone to stab me with it now.
So where are we going to try? We got the place that we got the rabies shot is closer, right, than the hospital?
Yeah, it's just about 5 minutes away,
okay.
And we know that we can park there as well, so we'll just go there and hopefully they can do it.
Apparently this place closes at 4. It's already after 4, but the security on the gate, there wasn't security the other day when we came. I don't know why there particularly is today. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He told us to come like right into the like compound area to park, and basically said to Jay like hurry up and run round. So he's just like ran off round there to hopefully try and get this injection in. Well, I don't see the bag in your hand.
No.
So does that mean
it's in my pocket?
It's in your pocket?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
No, they did it.
Oh, it's in your arm?
It's in my belly.
It's in your belly?
Yes.
Oh really? Oh wow.
They tried to give me the rabies vaccine again. It was a slight misunderstanding. But yeah, fortunately I got away with just having the tetanus. So hopefully we're all good. Well, it's been an absolutely mad few days. We've been rushing all over the city to try and get these rabies vaccines and the tetanus as well. And it's really taken it out of us.
Yeah.
We're just both kind of drained, exhausted, and really fed up, I suppose,
Yeah.
of the situation.
Yeah. We're just feeling a bit like, I guess, emotionally fragile as well. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Kind of on edge as well still, just with everything that's happened. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, we had some real conversations about just leaving Fes, just because it's not been a great experience so far. We haven't seen any of it at all though, so
well, you say that, but we have actually seen quite a lot of the outskirts, and we probably know every single pharmacy that there is in Fes.
Very true. Yeah.
Just none of the stuff that we wanted to see. Like, we'd done tons of research and all the cool stuff to do and see here, and we were planning on having like 3 or 4 days here, like exploring everything and like all the good stuff to do. And unfortunately, everything that's happened has just taken up so much time getting all that sorted.
Yeah. So we have decided that we are going to head out into Fes today. We're going to try and salvage something out of our trip here, because we've just heard such amazing things about it that we don't want to miss out on it.
Yeah.
And
we want to try and leave on a positive note as well, like, or a more positive note anyway, so that we don't just like leave with such a bad feeling about Fes. You guys know how much we have enjoyed Morocco so far, so yeah, we're going to head out today and try and enjoy ourselves. As I was just putting Ady into the carrier to have a nap, we noticed that she had some pus on the back of her head that's coming from one of the wounds. It's the biggest one that she had. We think it's where the cat actually bit her. Obviously that's really, really worrying, so we are now going to go straight to a pharmacy as our next thing, because that's a sign that it might be infected. So yeah, we've got to go get that checked out. I wrote out what had happened in English and just translated it straight to French in Google Translate. So they read that, they had a quick look and were like, yeah, hospital job, so they've directed us to one that's closer than the original one that we went to, the university one. It's only like 5 minutes away, so we're going to head there now. So we went there, but they've said that we need to go back to the big university hospital, so we're going to quickly head back to the van now and drive there and get her seen by the doctors that she saw originally. We've been in the hospital, got seen straight away as usual, absolutely fantastic service. We saw one of the doctors that we saw on the first day that we went, so he immediately recognised us and knew what had happened and what the problem was, so we didn't have to go over everything again. He just reconfirmed what had happened and that she'd had the rabies jabs and the tetanus jabs, and they've looked at the wound. They said all the others are healing fine, but just that particular one, it does have a little bit of an infection. It's nothing to worry about, it's just on the wound, it's not like anywhere else. They took her temperature to make sure that she didn't have a fever, which we didn't think she had anyway. She's acting completely normally. For anyone that has kids, you will know that you know if your kid's not right, and they kind of go downhill very quickly if something's wrong. So we knew it wasn't too serious because Ady was behaving completely fine. Anyway, what they have done is given us some antiseptic cleaning stuff that we've got to put on the womb every day for the next 10 days, and they've also given her some antibiotics that are going to be in like a syrup form, so she's got to take them for 10 days as well, and that should just help her body heal that particular wound basically. They weren't at all concerned. They said just needs a little bit of extra help healing. So, sod's law, the first pharmacy we've come to, closed.
Absolutely, we're back on the pharmacy hunt again. So luckily, because it's near a hospital, there are plenty around here. So yes, I'll get back on Google Maps and head to the next one.
Yesterday we finally managed to find the medications that Ady had been prescribed, then the antibiotics and the antibiotic spray. We had to go to two different chemists in the end to get them, because one had one and then we had to go find the other one. I think we went to about 4 or 5 in the end because they were closed, and to be fair, it was just the wrong time of day. Chemists here tend to close between, is it 1 and 4?
Yeah, round about then.
Like they open early and they open late, but they have a period during the day where most of them are closed. You can find the odd one that's open, so that's what we were looking for. Anyway, got that sorted, and then we just came straight to a campsite. There's a campsite just on the outskirts of Fes, so we drove straight here. Jay and I hadn't eaten all day because we were planning on eating lunch out. Ady had some snacks and some food and stuff, but came here, had dinner, and yeah, ultimately what we've decided now is we just need to put some miles between us and Fes. We're not going to go back into the city again at this stage. We've not actually got that much long left in Morocco before we need to get the ferry back across to Spain. So we are just going to head north now. We're leaving the campsite now, and we'll get to the next destination that we were planning on exploring, and fingers crossed we have a better experience there and kind of get back on track with loving Morocco, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, we will see you next time, guys. I would say do a thumbs up on the video if you liked it, but I'm not really sure there's much to like about this video, but give us a thumbs up to support us anyway. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so that you find out what happens next, and tick that little alarm bell thing so that you get notified when we post the next video. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Next week, we're heading to the beautiful blue city of Chefchaouen, hitting the beach, and finally bidding an emotional farewell to Morocco. Catch you then.